50.
So guys, now that I look at the back, I have a little bit of breathing room. I could breathe easily because I know I've gotten somewhere. I look at the back and it's telling me that it's going up a little bit. So this part right here, this engine part needs to go down. Once I get this down flush and the engine mount, the box screw should go in easy. I don't want to force it in and then it bent, or it's not going to break, but it'll bend, and I don't want that to happen. This piece. Oh, I know what this is. It's broke off my arm. So the other support. It's not important. So now I don't have to bring this down, but what I did, guys, if you look down closely, I'm gonna show you where I put my jack, guys. And down here is where I put my jack, and as you can see, the jack is right there, up underneath my transmission right there, guys. I put my jack right there up underneath my transmission. As you can see, I didn't put it back in the middle of the engine. I put it over the transmission side. I could have done that, and I could have lowered my cherry picker, and I could jack my transmission up, and then it would lower this side, but I don't want to do that. So what I did is I jack it up, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to release my cherry picker, and once I release my cherry picker, my engine is supposed to go down, which I should have I have another jack, but that one went out. That's the blue one, because I was using two jack on both sides, because when you have a jack on both sides, it works evenly better than just having the jack on one side. Because if I had my jack on this side, then I would have pulled this side up, because once I release the cherry picker, this is gonna go down, this side is gonna go down, and that's why I needed the support underneath here. But I also need to support my my engine, put the side of my engine so it doesn't go down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find something tall enough that can hold this up, because I really want to do it, and I don't want it to shift. I don't want it to shift again. That's my biggest problem. I don't want it to shift. I want it to stay, this part to stay exactly how it is, because I don't want to do this part first. I want to do that part. I want that part to come down, and the only way to let it come down is if I keep the support underneath my transmission. So I have to support my transmission in order for it to stay up, because my car is not at a low level. I didn't want to bring it all the way down, that my rotors and my calipers and all of that was touching on the ground. I didn't want all that. What I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna use some of these board as a support up underneath here. These little planks, they come in handy at times. I have so much of them because that I built them as a ramp to hold my car up on both sides. I use them as ramp. I need them. So that they come in handy. I have to put them to use. Like I said, I don't care if it drops down a little bit. That's not really much to me. I just don't want it to come all the way down. I want it, when I release my cherry picker, the transmission will stay in place. And that's why I take my time to do things, and I observe things before I do them. I just don't just jump ahead and do things and then it's too late to reverse it. Right. So now that I've done that, guys, I'm not gonna leave all the support and the pressure onto that, because you don't want to get this far and start making mistake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna catch my transmission again, and that's why I left this harness on here. I left this harness on my transmission because this is my transmission support. This is my steer right here, left and right. So I'm gonna put back a little bit more pressure back now onto my cherry picker, because once I release the jack, this whole thing is gonna move, and I don't want that. I just want this side to come down. So I'm gonna jack my cherry picker back up just enough to stiffen it that it doesn't move. And as you can see, I took it off the main strap and put it on my transmission strap, because that's the only thing I want to be hold up. I don't want my cherry picker to hold this, because once my cherry picker starts to hold this, then I know I don't have any leverage, and I also have to get this out of the way so I can also put my transmission back into place and put my transmission mount back onto my transmission and onto my chassis. So I'm gonna get this out the way. I probably haven't finished using this for the day, but for right now I can move this out the way, thankfully. So if I got this strap off, guys, that means we actually got in somewhere. I'm not gonna put it too far. Just wanna get some pressure, and I don't wanna get too much pressure on here, guys, because my computer is right back here and I didn't take my computer out. One of the videos that I watched is the guy, in order for him to get his whole engine and transmission out, he had to take this whole harness off. He took the whole harness off, he took the computer out and everything like that, and I found an easier way. And like I said, I wish I had those videos to show you guys that. Those I had maybe over 600 video clips of me taking this car apart, this car engine, step by step, screw by screw, bolt by bolt. I have over 600 video clips, and some of them was an hour long, 30 minutes long, 20 minutes long, 10 minutes long, and all that is in some place in Nigeria. But it is what it is. You know. So I mean, because it didn't make any sense me showing just the video, putting this back together. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because sometimes a lot of people is trying to do things themselves and they get stuck along the way, and they would like to know how they would put certain things back together that they took apart and they forgot how to put it back. They would like to relearn how to put it back together and they don't know. So that is a good video. You know, but I wanted to do it from scratch. I wanted to show you how I took this whole thing apart, how I cut. I didn't cut any corners or anything like that. I took my time. Yeah, I have scrapes and stuff like that, but that is expected, you know, regardless of what you do. You're taking out the engine, it's gonna have scratch, you know, unless if you you drop this engine, you take this engine out, you jack it up, and you lift the car all the way up over the engine and the transmission. Otherwise, from that, if you're doing it yourself at home, yeah, things like that's gonna happen. But I rather have scratch and scrape than dents and stuff like that. So I'm on my way to jack this down now, and the reason why I'm using the jack, because over here I have more leverage. You know, I can't use my cherry picker over here. You know, so I use my jack to bring this down and bring me into the direction that I need to be in. And once I do that, because even putting back together an engine, guys, sometimes you just forget how to do it. And I don't want to put it too flush. I don't want to put it all the way flush down on it. I just want to put it in a position where I can pull the engine back like that and get it into the hole. And I'm gonna go get my two bolts now. This is the two bolts I was showing you guys earlier on. These are the two bolts. They're 13mm head nuts that goes back into here. And this is the hardest part, because I remember taking this apart, I had to use a ply bar. I had to use my breaker bar to push it back, and that's exactly what I'm gonna have to do now, because my cherry picker is not gonna move it back. I mean, the cherry picker is not gonna do much, and I don't want to put too much pressure on the cherry picker, so I'm gonna have to yeah, I probably could use the cherry picker and then come back a little bit more. That way I have. Yep, right here. Yep. See, I think my cherry picker was a little bit too flat, guys. We have to tighten up a little bit. Like I said, I want my engine to be free when I'm pulling it. When I'm pulling my engine, guys, I want my engine, when I'm pulling my engine back and forth, I want it to be free. This thing down here too. It's not supposed to go down until you actually line it up. This engine is not going to do much, and I'm going to show you a bunch of little homemade tricks where you don't have to be forcing yourself and holding this and doing like that and pulling, breaking your back, probably break your feet or something like that. So, you know, I use a little breaker bar, you know, and these are the breaker bars. These are the breaker bars that I have, short ones and long ones. This is a 3/4 breaker bar, but it's strong because I'm not doing any hard work. When I'm doing like something heavier, I use the 1/2 inch breaker bar, and what I do is I use the breaker bar to brace, because I want to put it in a position where it's not going to break anything, and I use it to brace this back, and then when I brace it back I can find the hole. And if I find the hole, I can put my screw in. And all you need to do is catch the first one. Once you catch the first one, the second one will come in easy, guys. And that's when you're doing things yourself, you know. That's when you're doing things yourself. You see how easy that was, guys? And I didn't bend anything, I didn't break anything, and my screws are in. Yep. And these are. Oh, come on. Don't go down there. Don't go down that road. Oh, didn't get it. I got this one. Alright. Try it again. try it again, guys. I think I got one, but I didn't get the next one. And the reason why I use this long breaker bar, guys, is because it gives me a better leverage than the short one. The short one would have come probably all the way out here. And what happened is that this back one right here, it needs to both go up and in and out. Sorry, yeah, it needs to go out like that and up in order for this screw to catch right here. And like I said, I don't want to force nothing because I don't want to cross thread it. If I feel like it's cross threading, I'm going to stop. And I can catch one, and once I catch one I could catch the next, but I don't want to do it like that. I want to make sure the both of them is catch before I go. And like I said, there's many angles and ways to do things. It's whatever works for you. But I'm not gonna even attempt to screw the next one all the way down until I'm properly certain that this one is catch, like that one over there is catch. Then I can start screwing them down. And I just want enough turn on them that when I release this breaker bar, it doesn't put no pressure on my put any pressure onto my bolts, because these are smooth bolts and they're made to screw down all the way down by hand. As you can see, the back one right here that I'm doing, guys, is going all the way down by hand, while I'm putting pressure on this engine here going forward that way. If I release the pressure now, then it's gonna get tight and I can't screw it down with my hand. So I'm actually at the right parameter of where I need to be. I don't need to brace it too much forward. I don't need to brace it too much backwards. It's right where it needs to be. And see, now I release it, the pressure came on this back one right here. But this one is not going down so easy. And I believe they're 10 millimeters. Yes, I believe they're 10 millimeters. So these are the little places where your power tool comes in handy. You see that, guys? That's what I like. That's why I like these. Oops. That's why I like these little Craftsman, guys, because when it reaches, when you put this on here and it can't tighten anymore, it stops. When you put it on here, and once it reaches and it tightens enough, it stops. It can't go no further, and then you can torque from there. So I like those for the little light jobs and stuff like that. This fell down on my harmonic balancer, but like I said, my harmonic balancer is iron, it's not plastic, so it won't break that easy. I was just more concerned about my sensor right here, my oil pressure sensor, and that's easy to change because my engine is sitting where it needs to sit right now, and I can change it from either this side or this side, and I'm not going to change the whole sensor. I'm just going to take the harness off, but I'm leaving the harness on right now because the harness is actually protecting the sensor from being broken. And I'm gonna start taking stuff out the way now that I have that part on here. And see, now that I have this part on here, guys, let me take you around to the next side and show you what the next side is like and how this next side is gonna put back together. Now that that side is put together, I'm gonna have to go underneath the car again and see if this bolt back here is properly lined up, because I can't see it from here unless if I go the old school way and and use my feel, or I put a mirror back there and use 2 mirrors to see where I'm going. And I don't know if this is the right screw, guys, because this screw feels kind of a little bit short. That's like I said, I'm not sure if I was putting in the right screw. Yeah, because this screw is like that screw, and when I was putting it in, I was kind of skeptic, and I was like, so you got to be careful, guys, because I was a little bit skeptic, because I'm like, this little screw, I don't remember this little screw coming out. It went in too easy, because the screw that came out, it comes so far out that it was touching onto my steering wheel column. And I'm like, this little screw and this little screw and that screw is the same size, so it's a pair for something. I think one of these is for my alternator screw, or my compressor, AC compressor screw, but they're pairs. So this one doesn't belong here, so I'll have to take this back out, because that's what I was looking, and I was like, something is going back there. That's not, it doesn't feed right. But I'm not gonna mess with that back I'm not gonna mess with that back one right now, guys, because if I mess with that back one right now, it's gonna shift everything back this way again, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna catch this side right here, and once I catch this side, then that side should, the engine and the transmission would never move again. Once you tighten these 2 sides, it cannot move back this way, and I can get that screw out and find the right screw, because the right screw that goes back there is a 4-inch screw, and this is probably like a 1, 2, 3. This is like a 3-inch. The one back there is like a 4.5, 5-inch screw, a very long screw. So, you know, I was kind of skeptic. But it fit. It's the same size. It's the same size as this. It's the same size and everything. The same width and everything. I think these are M8. M8. Yeah, these are M8. It's the same size. 13 millimeter. Yeah, the same 13 millimeter. They're the same size, but it's just longer. The same 13 millimeter. Yeah, but they're just longer to go back here, because it has to go from one end to the next and go back out, because it's a thin screw, but it's long. And so, but I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm so happy that I got my engine back here, sitting with not too much a problem. And before I release my cherry picker, I'm gonna release my jack from here, and I'm gonna put it over here, because that's what I'm gonna use to put my transmission up and down, so I can get all the engine mounts back on, guys. So I'm gonna release my jack from underneath here and put it over this side, so when I take my cherry picker up, my jack will be the support for here. Because you have to do it in stages, guys. You have to do it in stages. It's not just do everything at once. You have to do it in stages, and you have to know which one to take down. So now that I have my jack out, I got my jack. My jack is out right there. I got my jack out. See, I got. Alright, guys, see, now I got my jack out from underneath my engine block. My engine block right there is standing perfectly well. But see this side, you have to be careful, because everything is done in stages, guys. Everything you have to do it in stages. See, I still have the support underneath the transmission right there, because I have the cherry picker. I have the cherry picker, guys. The cherry picker is what still holding that side up. But if I release the cherry picker, it will go down and sit down. But it will shift a bit. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna take this out, this support, because this support is still underneath here. So I'm gonna just bring my cherry picker up a little bit more. I don't want to bring this transmission up too much, but I'm just gonna see if I can really move it up a little bit so I can release these from underneath here. And once these quick, I don't want to force them out. I want them to come out easy, but I still don't want my transmission to go up too far either. Like I said, my cherry picker is not working right, and see it's leaked out all the fuel already, all the oil that was in it. It leaked it out. So it's not moving too much right now. It's not even jacking up, guys. It's not even jacking up from here. It's just leaking out everything. Like I said, that's why I didn't put too much pressure on it. You know, you have to know how to work a cherry picker. You just got to know how to work your cherry picker, and that's where your jacks comes in. Never you throw away your jacks because you have a cherry picker. Never you throw away your jacks because you have a cherry picker, guys. And now that I'm done, I'm not gonna need the supports anymore. I'm just gonna need one support underneath my transmission. So when I release my cherry picker, my jack is holding, and I don't like to put the jack itself up underneath my oil pan or my transmission pan. I don't like doing that. That's why I use a piece of board underneath my jack, and I'm not jacking up the transmission. I'm just you know, putting it exactly so when I release my cherry picker, it will go down onto my jack and stays there. And I'm gonna use my jack now to guide this transmission mount back into place. Properly. It's about where I want it to be. I'm not going to really take the cherry picker off it just yet until I'm guaranteed that this will go back into place, because I can use my cherry picker to push it back and forth. Because once I put it on the jack is not going to do jack much. So I want to leave it right there where it's at right now. I just want to line it up, because my jack is not really, that's going to do the work. I still want to keep it on my cherry picker, but I want when I release, because my engine won't move right now because it's already on both sides. I only need this part to shift back and forth, but it won't shift because the jack is up underneath the transmission. So when I release the jack, I can use this to move it back and forth, but I just want to make sure that it's gonna sit where it's supposed to sit, because I have to release it so I can take the strap off. So now that the jack is underneath there, I'm just gonna do like that, because it has to be center right about there, guys. Maybe a little bit more. It has to be in the center. Okay. That looks like still need to go over a little bit more. My jack should be over a little bit more this side. Okay, that looks great. That looks great, guys. So now I can release my cherry picker. I don't have to worry about anything. because I'm losing a lot of hydraulic fluid, guys. A lot of hydraulic fluid through this thing. This goddamn jack that I paid, it cost me $580, $680 or $580 to get this thing, because I couldn't get it online anywhere to match this one. So I had to dig up a buddy of mine who's a welder, and he got it. But you know, everything is moving and it's not supposed to be moving the way it's moving. It's like it's shaking. Everything is just like the bolts are not properly tightened up, because you're not supposed to be moving like that, man. It's like, because he had to pull a couple bolts in order to get this out, to get the jack out, because he had seized and he wouldn't move up and down. So he had to pull bolts and stuff like that and nuts and to get it out. And now everything is just shaking, like, you know, it's amazing what people do this, you know, but it is what it is. You know, I think it's time to get these straps out, guys. I don't want these straps to be trapped in here when I put my harnesses and stuff back together, because it will trap, and then you have to cut them out. And I don't like cutting my straps. So, you know, I got my two straps out. I don't really need my straps anymore. I'm just gonna clean them up and roll them up and put them back into my toolbox. Clean them up and roll them up, guys, and put them back into my toolbox, because straps, especially in these parts of Florida, straps are very, very important, guys. Very, very important. I have no idea how straps are important, and they're very costly too. They're not cheap, especially the commercial ones. Alright, guys, so I know I don't need a cherry picker anymore, but I'm not gonna move it just yet, because I don't want to put my eggs, I don't want to count my eggs before my chicks hatch. So I'm gonna start putting these things back on. And there's a certain way that you put them on, because like I said, you have this one that's supposed to go back over here, but there's also another one that goes on top of that. This sits into here like this. I couldn't show you guys because the strap was in the way. So it's just like that, and you put the two bolts down here, you put your two bolts back in here on either side, and there's another bolt that goes up underneath here. But this is the hardest bolt. Once you catch this bolt up underneath here, don't ever put this back together, because if you put this up together, it's gonna be hard for you to get to this bolt in here, guys. Let me put the flashlight. I'm going to put the flashlight over here, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, guys. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about over here. So this right here, this bolt right here, it has one bolt on the front, one on the back, and this engine mount right here, this mount right here, it has two bolts right here and one underneath the bottom. You want to always make sure you catch this bolt before you even catch these two bolts. Catch this bolt. So the screws that go down in here, guys, it's a 18 millimeter. That goes down here. I'm going to put it on this. I'm saying 18 millimeter, and I'm using something else. And you can't fit a regular wrench in there because it won't fit. You have to use the winch head and stuff, and I'm gonna go find it with 18 millimeter socket, because that's the only thing that will work. Millimeter, where are you? 18 millimeter socket. 18 millimeter socket. I had them. 18 millimeter, 17 millimeter. Oh, should be a 17. Oh, I know I did use. I don't think it's a 17. I know it's supposed to be a 16 underneath it, a little bolt right under there. I know this 17 is too big. It's a 16. Like I said, I gotta go get my 16 millimeter socket, because it's a 16, not a 17, but it's to find where they at. What's the story? Where they at? And like I said, your winch can't work up in there. Your regular winch, it has to be a socket. And I just got to remember where I put these sockets. I know I have them, just don't quite remember. They're all over the place, that I know that for sure. I know these are 18. I'm pretty sure that one up underneath there is also 18. Even though it's a smaller one. But and see, I normally take these off so I can get more room to work with. But I have my extension that I can put my extension on here. I'm just being lazy right now. And like I said, guys, you want to get this screw on before you get any other screw on, because once you get that, once you connect these screws, it's going to be hard to get to that one up underneath here. And I'm going to go find my extension, because I don't want to be here clean up that. Alright guys, so when I got my half-inch extension, my half-inch extension, because I don't want to be here doing all that all day. I'm trying to reach guys. So you know, I got my extension all different sizes and length that work for me. Now that I got my extension, I don't know why this bolt is not moving up, because it's not the right. I know it's a 16. I'm just trying to work with what I have, and it's not going to work because I have to find my 16 millimeter. So my 16 millimeter is not going to work. Let me try the 5/8 on it. Because the 16 millimeter and the 5/8 is supposed to be the same thing. Depends on the bolt. So a 5/8 and a 16 millimeter is supposed to have the same fit, or close to the same fit. With some bolts, it's just so far, it's just so way up underneath that it's hard to get to. And like I said, if you don't get to that bolt first, you're gonna have a major problem putting this thing back together, guys, because it's up underneath there. You have to feel, you can't see anything. And I'm gonna leave that right now before I even do anything, because these also have torque specs on them. So I'm gonna go find my torque wrench and come back and torque this. Alright guys, so this is the bolt up here. And this little bolt underneath here, guys. So the bolt up underneath here is the one I'm gonna torque first, and that's the lower bolt first that I want to get, and I want to torque it. And that bolt underneath there is a 37 to 41 foot-pound. This one up underneath here is 31 to 41 foot-pounds. And up here, these are 41 foot-pounds. These two ones here are 74 foot-pounds. So I'm going to torque this one up underneath here first. I'm going to get my wrench out, and I'm going to get my torque wrench in, and I'm going to set my torque to 41 foot-pounds. Foot-pounds. Guys, so I got my a torque wrench. And I set it to 41 foot-pounds. And like I said, it's between 37 to 41 foot-pounds. But this is my engine mount, so I don't play around with it. So I'm gonna put it to the maximum, 41 foot-pounds.
Africon 50.